Top on the news. MPs to a bandit-prone West Pokot as government intensifies efforts to combat banditry.
Today we are in West Pokot on a fact-finding mission, particularly on the issue of security.
Also, preparations for the Africa Youth Summit are almost complete as thousands of young people from across Africa converge to discuss innovation and leadership. And property of unknown value destroyed after huge fire break out at a furniture shop in Roysambo along the Thika Highway. Well, 2207 is our SMS short code. You can interact with us as well as the hashtag is news now. Now, the Parliamentary Committee on National Security is touring West Pokot County to assess the security situation there. Pokot is one of the counties affected by banditry, and the government has sent security officers to flush out the criminals. The committee will also assess how insecurity has affected the education sector as well as being of the residents. Acting chairperson, that is MP Dido Rasso, says that they will come up with recommendations on how best to address the issue.
We are in West Pokot in Kapenguria. This follows the visit of Administration and Internal Security Committee of National Assembly. We visited Turkana, Laikipia, Samburu, Baringo. Today we are in West Pokot on a fact-finding mission, particularly on the issue of security. The government, early this year, they did deployment of forces. We wanted to establish and find out in detail the success or challenges that operation is facing. And also we'll be able to talk to the communities and troops in these disturbed areas. We are happy that this morning we are able to meet with the governor, who has also briefed us on the security situation in the country.
We'll be following up on that developing story to keep you posted. Now, the government will disburse the National Government Constituency Development Fund monies before schools reopen next year. The commitment comes days after members of parliament decried delayed disbursement of the funds. The president says he is aware that some parents rely on bursaries to educate their children. He was speaking during the commemoration to mark 10 years since the establishment of the Kikuyu Constituency Education Foundation. We'll be bringing you that story later on, but allow us to pick this one. And yes, Nairobi will, from today, be hosting the largest youth gathering aimed at spotlighting youth leadership, innovation and integration. The Youth Connect Summit will be officially opened tomorrow and brings together at least 20,000 young people. That as well will be coming your way shortly. And of course, we still have more lines up for you. So let's pick a different one. And we take a look at some of the efforts that have been set by the government. Just a second as we get that story. Yes, Mr. Director. A bit of a twist, but that is being fixed. All right. Okay. The government as the government intensifies efforts to eradicate all forms of gender-based violence by 2026, gaps in the country's judicial and health systems have been cited as the main challenges derailing efforts to curb the virus. The government statistics show that over 34% of women in Kenya have experienced physical violence at least once in their lifetime, while a further 13% have experienced sexual violence. Stakeholders are now calling for the amendment of the Mental Health Act 2022 to make it possible for the survivors of gender-based violence to access the services.
Sexual violence is a blight on our society, a stark violation of human rights that leaves deep, often invisible scars on its survivors. It is not merely a legal issue, it is a crisis that touches the very core of our humanity. As we gather here, let us remember that behind every statistic, every case that comes before the courts, there's a human being, a life irrevocably altered. Sexual violence is not only a physical injury, but also a psychological trauma. Survivors of sexual violence often suffer from mental health problems such as depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal thoughts. These mental health problems can affect their daily functioning, their relationships, and their well-being. Therefore, it is essential that we provide them with comprehensive and survivor-centered mental health services that can help them heal and recover.
It is also a human right. It is also a human right. We all know that persons with mental disorders often have their human rights violated as a result of stigmatization and discrimination. The journey towards ensuring mental health services for survivors of sexual violence in Kenya has seen commendable progress. The government of Kenya has taken significant strides in recognizing mental health consequences of such heinous acts and has initiated measures to address them.
All right. Now, Prime Cabinet Secretary and CS Foreign Affairs Musalia Mudavadi has said that President William Ruto's economic diplomacy is bearing fruit. Mudavadi, who made a speech on Kenya's foreign policy at the Chatham House in London Friday, said that the country's foreign policy is paying off, and of course the country's exports with the United Kingdom and other countries have improved, resulting in reduced balance of trade in favor of Kenya. According to Mudavadi, in August this year, the United Kingdom imported goods worth 5.1 billion shillings, while Kenya imported goods worth 4.1 billion shillings from the United Kingdom.
His Excellency President Ruto's diplomatic efforts have yielded significant achievements and benefits for Kenya's economic development. Our administration is embarking upon a new age of diplomacy, where friendships and relationships are interwoven with mutually beneficial economic engagements. The King's visit to Kenya in October crowned a deluge of no less than 25 visiting world heads of state and governments in less than a year, not to mention those who attended the inaugural Africa Climate Summit in September. The visits point to the growing stature of Kenya as a dependable investment destination, and more so as an honest peace broker in the eastern rim of Africa. Again, this is by design. Our forays in the sphere of economic diplomacy have yielded positive results. For example, in November, the government of India granted approval for the establishment of the India Exim Bank's East Africa Representative Office in Nairobi, marking a significant stride in economic diplomacy. This decision comes on the heels of India Exim Bank's substantial financing package for Kenya in diverse sectors, including energy, textile, apparel, agriculture, and support for small and medium-scale enterprises. This move not only reflects confidence in Kenya as a premier investment destination, but also underscores Nairobi's pivotal role as a regional financial hub.
All right, and we now cross over to a different direction, that is in relation to what is playing out in Githurai as well as Mavoko. And furniture traders in Roysambu are counting losses after a huge fire destroyed sections of their shops. And firefighters from the Nairobi County responded and managed to contain the inferno. The cause of the fire is not yet known, and furniture traders in Roysambu are counting all these losses after a huge fire that destroyed a section of their shops. Our team on ground working around that story to give you more updates as and when they get to hit the editorial desk. At this very point, allow us to take a quick short break. We'll still come back with more.
They say money makes the world go round. So let's slow things down a bit. Put things in perspective. From the markets to the streets to the stocks, we make the complex comprehensible. Join me, Hibak Said, on TV47 Business News for market insights like never before.
What's making the headlines? What does it mean to you? How does it affect you? We answer all these questions every Sunday for half an hour on To The Point Show. Hey, I'm Grace Kuriakanja, and a lot has happened this week. Let's dive into it.
The news that matters the most is the one that hits close to home.
Well, thank you so much for choosing to stay with us. This is News Now. My name is Linda Lela. Now, at least 5,000 students have graduated from the Mount Kenya University at a colorful event held in Thika. Chairperson Mount Kenya University Council, Dr. Vincent Gaitho, in his speech said they are confident that they are releasing highly qualified and competent manpower to the world of work and wealth creation. Among those featured was musician Esther Akoth, commonly known as commonly known as Akoth.
To be attractive and also to retain students, employees, and partners. It is through the policies that the University Council passes that supports management that has worked to make this university remain relevant and visible. The Council is committed to ensure compliance with national and international training standards that are guided by policies and regulations. To this end, the University Council has approved Senate recommended policies as follows. 1, data and record retention policy. This policy outlines university guidelines and procedures for management and retention of data, records, and documents. It will help in ensuring that the university maintains the necessary records while securely disposing those that may no longer be needed. In compliance with the legal and regulatory requirements, the university has complied with principles of Storage Limitation in Data Protection Act of 2019. Of course, we wish as a university to continue being compliant with the national laws. And the new Act on Data Protection is a major concern that the Council has taken up and has therefore developed that policy. Further, the second thing that the university has done is that the Commission for University Education requested universities to review their statutes for the purpose of making them compliant. The University Council of Mount Kenya has therefore approved the revised statutes and separated them from the schedules, because initially the statutes and schedules were one single document. Currently, we have, in compliance with the Commission, and also as a way of making our document communicate better, we have amended the statute. The other thing that we have done as Council is Mount Kenya University has rescheduled and separated the documents in
partnership, which you've just heard of one from Dr. Thacker, between our two universities. That's something also to celebrate, isn't it, today? This partnership between universities. Maybe applaud that. Life is all about partnerships at the end of the day. And as the Chancellor of MQU, I will endeavour to assist in the process of strengthening these partnerships as best I can. And we have very good news already in this partnership. As some of you may know, in the university here, I am the director of a Centre for African Research on Enterprise and Economic Development. I'm an economist, a professor of economics. We call it CAREED, C-A-R-E-E-D.
And back to this story, the National Youth Service is said to be the primary training institution for all labor being exported abroad. President William Ruto, who was presiding over the 87th pass-out parade in Gilgil, that is Nakuru County, noted that the Kenyans trained under the NYS will be prioritized as the government seeks to export labor. At the same time, CS Moses Kuria promised to take it up with the cabinet to approve his plan for making it mandatory for all new government hires to provide an NYS certificate. Over 10,000 youth graduated today.
Tumeamua kama baraza la usalama katika taifa la Kenya kwamba wale wote watakaoajiriwa kwa jeshi la Kenya, kwa polisi wa Kenya, Kenya Forest Service, Kenya Wildlife Service, 80% watakuwa hawa vijana ambao wamefuzu kutoka National Youth Service. Vile vile tumekubaliana ya kwamba National Youth Service katika ile harakati ya kupanga vijana watakaoenda kufanya kazi katika nchi ya nje. Already we are concluding negotiations with Germany. We are concluding negotiations with Saudi Arabia. We are concluding negotiations with another 8 countries on export of labor. And the National Youth Service is going to be the central organization for pre-deployment training so that Kenyans understand what they need to do when they go out for work as labor that is exported from Kenya.
And we have agreed with the State Department for Labor that we are going to have 50% of everybody going to work out there coming from the job and the labor provider number 1, which is the National Youth Service. Your Excellency, it can only get better. And we look forward to working with all state departments to ensure that the first provider of labor of choice is the National Youth Service.
Well, our congratulations to the MKU as well as the NYS graduates. Now, elsewhere, that is in Kiambu and Kirinyaga counties, they have intensified the war on gender-based violence as Kenya joins the rest of the world in marking 16 days against gender-based activism. Government officials and religious leaders say that the high number of GBV cases being reported in the 2 counties are alarming and are calling on survivors to report such incidents.
As unite as a society to end GBV, everyone at their level should fight and speak against GBV. As we speak, there's an ongoing construction of a GVRC in Kerugoya Hospital.
Wengine wanasema huyu amekuja hapa kwetu kutunyang'anya malie. So once this lady's husband dies, na the mzee did not panga watu wake on time, huyu mjane anaanza kuwekwa kando kwa mambo ya mashamba.
This program is to help survivors of GBV to transition from a place of abuse and a place of oppression to a place where they can adjust and live their lives productively, without torture, without abuse.
There are so many and we are overwhelmed. There's so much work on the ground. This county needs the services of the government and the judiciary, especially the legal aid, so that we can rescue more, we can help more, and we can front for justice for these people.
All right, let's all join in on that good cause and speak out if there's need to speak out. And how about we digest that, at least for now? We'll be coming